Danny Cruz. Hello, Danny. Good morning.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
We are fantastic, and so are you. 3 games, 3 wins. This team is absolutely flying right now, Danny. What a way to start this season. What have you liked best about the way your guys are playing right now?
Yeah, I think the mentality, there's been a little bit of a shift this year, which has been excellent for us. I was really happy with how we've been starting the games, and we're excited to have you guys at the game on Saturday, and you know, it's hopefully going to be a good one.
Yeah, Danny, I'm excited to be there. I can't wait. My first time in Louisville. One, I want you to give me an idea of what I should expect, both in the city, then in the stadium. And also, am I going to get to meet Jack Harlow? Because I feel like he's been at every game so far this season.
He's been an unbelievable supporter of the club. You're going to see a lot of things here. I think you'll be happy to see kind of how our fan base is. You know, the atmosphere is incredible at Lynn Family Stadium. The food and the bourbon are incredible, I'll tell you that. But overall, you know, we're excited to showcase what this club's about. You know, we're excited to show how much we've been working in the off season, in the preseason, and we got a group that we're excited about.
I can't wait, Danny.
Danny, I wanted to ask, you have new additions to the team. You have a distinct style of play. How did you get the team so bought in and have good chemistry coming into the season?
Yeah, we brought in good people first and foremost. You know, we talked a ton in the offseason about making sure we're bringing in players that were young, that were hungry, that had something to prove. You know, everybody understands the expectation here at this club, and we wouldn't want it any other way. So we wanted to make sure we had players that, as I said, that really were bought in from day one, and our culture has been really strong. The group has come together, you know, despite how many new faces we have. And it's something that we're really proud of up to that point. But again, this season isn't won in 3 games. That's the reality. We're happy with the start, but we've been preaching and making sure that we understand that there can't be any complacency in football in this league. And the guys so far this week of training has been excellent. And my hope is, again, we can put together a good performance for the fans on a massive stage.
Danny, you're young for a coach. Not too many 34-year-old coaches around the U.S., even in world football. As you find yourself as a manager, how would you describe your profile as a coach today?
I think I'm pretty intense in what I do. I want to be I want to be the type of manager that players understand they can trust, that I'm honest with them, whether they like what I have to say or not. With regard to how I want to play, I want fans to leave the stadium feeling like, man, that group is relentless, both on and off the ball. And you know, I feel if we do that week in and week out, we put ourselves in a position to grow, to get better, and to do something special. But, you know, I can live with mistakes as a manager. Mistakes happen in football. But the reaction is what's most important to me. And you asked earlier about buy-in. You know, I think that's a big thing. Players understand that it's okay when a mistake happens, as long as the mentality, the effort, and the reaction is what we want it to be and what we expect.
Coach, I want to talk a little bit about your striker who's had a terrific start to the season, in Wilson Harris. You mentioned to our team that you think he is the most consistent, the most reliable 9 you've ever been around. What exactly does he do that says that? Because you've obviously played a long career in MLS and in some of the lower leagues. What exactly about him is so different?
Yeah, I think specifically with the way that I want to play, it's really important that I have a 9 that's willing to work as much off the ball as they are on the ball. And his defensive work rate is second to none in this league with regard to the 9 position. And ultimately, my belief is when we have that, it puts him in a position when we win the ball to score goals. He has an eye for goal. His ability in front of goal, I think his scoring record speaks for itself, especially at his age. And he's a joy to work with, right? So when we talk about kind of a complete package, he's someone that wants to learn, that wants to get better, that doesn't have an ego. And he shows that on a daily basis. And I think he's extremely underrated. There's no question in my mind about that. But my hope is that all the work that he put in the offseason and into the preseason continues to come to fruition, and we continue to see him putting the ball in the back of the net.
Danny, Marcelo Bielsa once said that the most important thing for the development of football in our country is that the people support their local soccer team. And in the U.S., there's a lot of like, oh, who do you support? And you're from, I don't know, any given place in the United States. Manchester City's like, what? But it feels like there's something special going on in Louisville. I know Jack Harlow is a Chelsea fan, but the fact that he's, from Louisville, going to your guys' game is a microcosm of what you guys have been doing with the community. So how do you feel your connection to your fans? I mean, not only you guys, but Racing Louisville as well. How important has that been for the success and the development of this club?
Yeah, I think, listen, without this community, the club's not here. It starts at the top with our ownership group. This facility that we're sitting in right now, when I leave at, 5:30, 6 o'clock, there are hundreds of kids out on the turf fields. And when you look at the support that we have on a week-to-week basis, it's truly incredible. But again, I think it comes from making sure that us as a club are trying to do right by the community, getting out into the community and doing as much as we can to contribute as well. And then on the weekends, you see everybody come together. From our slugger days to where we are now at Lim Family Stadium, the atmosphere is incredible and you can feel it. There's been a ton of games where maybe they aren't going our way. And our fans are able to kind of make sure we have that little extra bite that we need, through the adversity that comes within a game. And then when you talk about getting out into the community, I'm really proud of the things that our club does to make sure that we're consistently trying to do things that we feel give back. And I think that's what it's all about.
It's so cool. Alexis, you're going to have such a good time. I'm
can't
jelly.
wait. I've never
I'm straight
been.
up jelly.
I heard bourbon.
You need all the food wrecks,
Obviously,
too.
Yes.
obviously bourbon. Danny, I'm curious to hear a little bit more about your coaching journey and sort of your evolution as a coach. I know Nico pointed out that you're young, but I know you've had a wealth of experience in your playing career and now managerial career. Who are some of your inspirations and who are some of the coaches that you learned the most from as a player?
Yeah, that's a good question. I do a lot of reading and a lot of research, particularly in the off season. But I think when I look at kind of the coaches that I had before me when I was a player, and I think a lot of players that turn into a manager kind of go through these phases and through their own development. But you take a little bit from everybody that you played for and then played under. You take things of, that's something that I really like and that I think the players or myself kind of reacted well to, whether that be style of play or management, right? I had managers that I didn't want to knock on the door, because I didn't feel that I could. And I had managers that, I could knock on the door, whether I was playing, whether I wasn't, to get that kind of feedback. And there's no right or wrong, right? Everybody has their own philosophical way of going about it. When I look at it now, for me, I think I'm a little bit of I'm trying to mold myself into the experiences that I've had, learning and reflecting in the moments that haven't gone well or that have gone well. And trying to make sure I'm improving every day. And I think if I do that, I'll continue to get better. I'll continue to grow. But the one thing I've certainly learned in this position is that you never have all the answers. You're going to continue to get better as long as you're willing to challenge yourself and make sure that you never stop learning.
Coach, I got two questions for you. One, where's the best Manhattan in all of Louisville? Because I'm a bourbon drinker myself. And the second question is, you've brought up a couple times in this interview how good it is developing players and getting players to play in your style and coaching directly to players versus just talking about an overall tactics. So I get the feeling that developing players is important to you. What do you consider success for a coach in the second division? Is it just getting players and just winning titles, or is it developing players to the point where maybe they get opportunities like a Josh Winder has, maybe in other countries or maybe up a level?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think every club, again, is going to have their own philosophical beliefs and how they want to go about it. I can tell you here, development and winning are two things that are really important to us. Obviously, everybody's going to say that. But we have an academy here that has been built up that we genuinely believe in the first team. We genuinely want to give kids opportunity, but those opportunities have to be earned, and they learn that at a young age. And then once they're earned, then it's again continuing to grow and go through your process. But make no mistake, we want to win. We're here to win, and the development piece. There are growing pains in that, no question. You have to understand that when a young player goes in, there are going to be mistakes. But I think if you have the right people around him on the field, you put yourself in a position to limit those mistakes. But again, ultimately, here at Louisville City, we want to win. We want to lift a trophy at the end of the year. That's my expectation. That's the players' expectation. I'm sure if you ask our fans, it's their expectation. But we believe in our process, and we believe if we go about things the right way every single day, we'll put ourselves in a position to compete.
And at the end of your match, which I'll be at versus Indy 11, I want to lift a cup filled with a Manhattan. Now, where do I go for that? Did you skip that part of my question?
If we, at the end of the game, if it goes the way that we hope it is, it will. We have a toast on the side, a Fall City beer where we put up a 3 points flag. So you can come join me for that if it goes the way we hope it does.
Deal. Let's go.
It is. I got to do the Bourbon Trail once in Louisville.
Ooh.
I took my mother.
Oh, wow.
I know. Who doesn't drink bourbon?
In what state did you finish the Bourbon Trail?
Well, no, we were in Kentucky, but it was.
No. What physical state?
I was very merry. I was very happy. It was wonderful. Honestly, Louisville is such a vibe.
All I keep hearing
it's
is
a fun
it's a party
city.
town. Yeah, so I want to go.
It's a really fun
I can't
city.
wait.
It's so much fun. Have you been able to check out any of the women's matches while you're there? Racing Louisville, because they're a vibe as well.
Oh, they definitely are. When we aren't traveling and they're home, I go to the games 100%. Typically, when we're home, they're away. But as much as I can, I get to them. Bev is incredible. She's been a joy to be around here in the facility. And obviously, I want nothing but the best for them.
Amazing. Danny Cruz, best of luck this weekend against Indy 11. We will be watching on CBS and Paramount Plus, and we'll get the full report from Alexis. We're all going to be very, very jealous.
I may be Mary in Mary State.
I hope
Or in another
so.
state.
I hope so. It was great to catch up with you. Thanks so much for taking the time to join us.